Hello learners and welcome back. So, I hope you've been doing really well and you guys are working on your English communication skills. You are working really hard. I know we've got so many I would say requests for this, for that on our Facebook page, on other social media interactions that you have with us. So yes, it's been great keeping in touch with you people. Okay, I just want you all to keep on working. So here, as in you see, it's introduction to tenses. Tenses, is it like, do the tenses give you tension, as I've always asked you? This is just for introduction's sake. Today I'm just going to introduce tenses to you. Okay, see, introduction means I'm going to make you aware of what type of tense is used where, like what is the exact meaning. Like if you want to mean something in English, which tense would be used in that particular place. That is what we are going to learn today. Okay, so in case, for example, if I say I am talking about an action that was completed in near past, or I am talking about an action that was completed way back. Okay, so which tense to use, whether it is past simple, past perfect, what tense, or is it indefinite tense, is it continuous tense, because there are different types of tenses. Now see, names of tenses, there is no problem when it comes to their names. We all are aware, present perfect, present simple, but where exactly to put them into use, where to use present simple or where to use past simple, that is the question. Okay, not just various uses by point, we're asking generic use. Today I'm going to tell you generic use of tenses, and then we would in later sessions we would pick each tense and we would do it part by part, one by one, step by step, so that it becomes easier for you to understand it. Okay, let's have a look at the very first one. English tenses. If you see types of tenses are three. There are present tense, there is past tense, and then there is future tense. Now if I talk about present, I am talking about the situation at present. Okay, I am not talking about anything that was considered to be past. I am talking about a situation that at the moment, okay, at the current situation. What is the current situation? That's at the moment. Okay, when I say past tense, I'm talking about something way back, something back in time, like let's say yesterday, let's say last week, let's say 10 days back, or whatever. Back in time. Okay, so that is past tense. And future tense is ahead in time. What would happen ahead in time? Alright, so these are the three tenses. Okay, present tense is at the moment, living in the moment. Let's say today. What about today? What are you doing, or how did your day start, or what are you planning to do today? All this. So whatever at the moment is happening or you do regularly in present, okay, that is true in generic sense, you will use present tense, but past tense comes for actions back in time, whereas future tense comes for actions ahead in time. So these would be the frames that we would be using, we would be talking about today. These are the three tenses, three aspects that we would majorly discuss. Let's move ahead with this and let's talk about their subdivisions. Now, simple to understand, but yes, you need to understand this clearly. Subdivision is that these three tenses, present, past, and future, are further subdivided into simple or indefinite tense, continuous tense, perfect tense, and perfect continuous tense. Now, what do I mean by this? Which means if I have present tense, then I have these four tense. For example, present simple, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. Similar goes for past. If I have past, I have past simple, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. Okay, same goes for future. Now, I have written here V1, V2, V5, V4, V3 and V4 again. What are these? We need to understand these. And these are the basics or the base for tenses or verbs that we do. See, tense is nothing but time of verb. Tense is nothing but it is what? It is, see, tense, you can't just say tense is time or tense is equal to time. Tense is time of verb. Okay? Tense is what? Tense is time of verb. That is it. The reason is when I say time of, because tense, any tense that you take, it tells us about the time of the action that we're doing. Time of the action that we are doing. That is what it tells us. Okay? Alright. Now, when I say simple or indefinite tense, I mean the verb forms used are first form of verb, second form of verb or fifth form of verb. How? If you're talking about present simple tense, you will either use first form of verb or fifth form of verb. Okay? If you're talking about past simple, you will use second form of verb. And if you're talking about future simple, you will use will plus first form of verb. Now, first I have introduced you first, second form. But what are we saying? Will plus first form. What does this mean? This means this. First form means words like eat, sleep, go, run. These are present plural form. Okay? So these are present plural form. When I say first form, will go, will sleep, will eat, this is future simple. And when I say I eat, I sleep, that is present simple. But for past simple verbs, second form will be used, which is I ate, slept, went. This is for past. V2 is past simple tense. V2 is past simple. That's past simple for us. Okay? This is past simple for us. Now, if I talk about continuous tense, I am using fourth form of verb. Fourth form of verb means ing form of verb. And if you have to show continuity, you have to use ing form. I am running, I am sleeping, he is eating, they are going. You have to use ing. So for continuous tenses or sentences or statements, you will be using fourth form of verb. For perfect, now perfect tenses, guys, are used when you are talking about an action that has finished, okay, that has finished probably, or that is going to finish in near future. We will discuss this in detail in the session ahead. It takes third form of verb. All the perfect tenses make use of third form. Okay, like eaten, slept, gone, worked, cooked. Slept we've already done. Okay, gone we've done. Okay, all these. So this is third form of verb, which is used in perfect tense. In case of perfect continuous, it is a blend of perfect and continuous tense. So this is verb's third form. Helping verb's third form is been, and continuous ing form is used. So basically here what we do is, in case of perfect continuous, we use been plus fourth form, which is been plus ing form. Okay, because it is a blend of two tenses, perfect and continuous. Alright, that is the reason we use been plus fourth form of verb. Now, what is the idea of discussing which form of verb to use with which kind of tense? Because this is in common, guys. Whatever is written here is in common for all the three tenses, whether it is present ka, whether it is for past, or whether it is for future. So it is just the same. You don't have to worry or be worried about, okay, if I'm using first form and fifth form in present simple, what about future and past? So I have given you a gist here. I've given you a gist in terms of verb forms to use. Alright? Yes. Now, here, fifth form is the singular form. Eats, sleeps and goes. See, when I said they eat, they sleep, they go, they run, because first form is plural form. Whereas if I use singular subject, for example, if I say he, she, okay, I will say he eats, he sleeps, he runs, he goes, he wakes up, all this. I will use fifth form of verb. So fifth form of verb is nothing but, it is also known as S or ES form of verb, okay? It stands for singular. So that is why fifth form is also known as present singular form, and first form is also known as present plural form. I will jot down few examples here for you. If I say they eat chips, okay, they eat chips, I have used they eat because they is plural. But if I say he, I will say he eats chips. It's that simple. Eats. So singular subject, singular verb, that is fifth form of verb. And if you are using plural verb, then plural subject, then plural verb, that is first form of verb. These are the two examples, and you can frame your own sentences. Try to quote your own examples using first form and fifth form. That would eventually help you a lot. Moving ahead, when I am saying forms of verbs, so guys, you pick any verb, it has 5 forms. Every verb has these 5 forms, and it cannot survive without forms. For example, if I take helping verbs also, if I say have is the first form, had is the second form, had is third form also, okay, having is fourth form, having, and has is the fifth form of verb. So have, had, having, has. Okay, so every verb has 5 forms. You don't have to be worried about what form to use, or like, does every verb has these forms? Yes, every verb has, so you don't have to be worried about it. Okay, now forms of verbs done. Now you know which verb form is used in which type of tense, right? So let's now move ahead. Now this is one important thing that I want you all to understand. Simple or indefinite for regular actions or generic actions. Okay, generic actions. For example, if I say simple present, generic action is I eat pancakes. Future, I will eat pancakes. Generic actions. Okay, nothing much. Regular action means something that you do every day, or something that you used to do every day, or something that you will do in future. So it can be regular actions or generic actions for known. Alright? Okay. Next comes continuous. Continuous is for actions that are in continuation. So that are in continuation, or that were in continuation, or that will be in continuation. So continuous tense talks about continuity. Any action that is going on in continuous at present, any action that is going in continuation at past, or will be going in continuation in future. Alright, so we use continuous for continuous actions. That's it. Perfect for actions that have, had, or will get completed or ended. That have ended, that had ended, or that will get completed. You will be using perfect. I told you, perfect tense is always taking third form of verb, and it means, or it takes notice of the actions that are completed, or that are getting completed, or that have already been completed in past, or in future at some time they will get finished or they will end. That is what perfect tenses are for. Okay, they are meant for this. Now, next one says perfect continuous for those actions which started in past and were or are in continuation. See, it's an action. For example, this is timeline. I am here and present. This is my present. Okay, this is my present. This is my past. Now, an action started here in past, was in continuation, and still has not completed. Okay, or an action that started here, went and it has completed. It's no more in continuation now. Or an action that started here, went till here, and still is in continuation, and I don't know when will it end. So these 3 frames are present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. So you can always define it on the timeline. When you define it on the timeline, you get to know. Okay, now moving ahead, what do we have next now? I have examples related to what I have just discussed with you people. When I say Sheetal bakes delicious cakes, Sheetal bakes delicious cakes, this is a generic sentence that I have given. It's a generic statement. Sheetal bakes a delicious cake. And I just told you that for generic actions or regular actions, simple tense is used. And which simple tense is this? This is present simple tense with verbs fifth form, right? Or S or ES form of verb. We've just done it. Okay. Second sentence says Sheetal was baking cakes. Sheetal was baking cakes. Now, what do I understand by Sheetal was baking cakes? I'm using past plus ing, which means I'm talking about past continuous. See, people who cannot judge the tense, they can break it. Was is for past, ing is for continuity. So this is past continuous tense. So Sheetal was baking cakes is telling us about an action that was in continuation at some point in past. Okay? Alright. Now, Sheetal has or had baked cakes. I can say Sheetal has baked cakes. I can say Sheetal had baked cakes. It can be anything, right? When I say has baked, the meaning is different. And when I say had baked, the meaning is different. Okay? There are different meanings when I say has baked or had baked. Now, for instance, when I say Sheetal has baked cakes, means she has recently completed it. She has just baked the cakes. But when I say Sheetal had baked cakes, I am talking about something that is in past. Way past. Sheetal had baked cakes means something that happened in past. Now, when I say Sheetal has baked cake, I mean any action that has just in present it got completed. Just now it got completed. That is present perfect. And past perfect is when you talk about something in back in past, way back in past. Okay? So that is the difference between has baked and had baked. Okay. Now, next one is Sheetal has been baking cakes for 2 hours. When I say Sheetal has been baking cakes for 2 hours, what do I mean? See, I told you already with the timeline. I had told you with the timeline that, for example, if I frame a timeline here again, this is present. Okay. And present, this is my past. Okay. This is my timeline. This is past. Pardon. This is present. So an action that started, let's say Sheetal started 2 hours back. This is 2 hours. Okay. 2 hours back Sheetal started, and Sheetal has been baking cakes for 2 hours, and still now has been baking means it is still in continuation. The action has not stopped. She is still baking cakes, guys. She is still baking cakes. The action has not completed. Now, instead of has, if I write had here, if I put had here and if I say Sheetal had been baking cakes for 2 hours, means for 2 hours, the action started in past, though 2 hours back. So 2 hours says she was baking cake. Now she has completed. Now she is not. Had been baking means she was baking, but now she is not baking. For 2 hours. Now 2 hours time over, now she has stopped baking it. But if has is there, which means she is still making or baking cakes. The action is still on, and we don't know till when it will be in continuation. Okay, that is important. So this is what I was talking about. Now, these tenses one by one I will be picking in each session with you. It can be present simple. We will start with present tense. We will first complete present simple, present continuous, present perfect, perfect continuous. Then we will move to past, simple past continuous, or past ka tenses, then future ka tenses. Okay, so now we will pick one by one. Now that you know which tense is used for what case, it will become easier for me to make you understand things. Okay, because now you know verb forms. Now because you know verb forms, these forms of verb, it will be easier because in those structures I will be writing V1, V5, V4. Okay, so it will become easier. Now this forms of verb is really important. Those who haven't noted down, they can note it down, take a screenshot, whatever you wish to do. But please work on these forms of verbs, and they are actually important. You can look for forms of verbs on Google. Start revising, start working on these forms of verbs. Because see, second and third forms are important. These two forms are important. This is okay. You can add ing, you can add s or es. You've heard them. But second and third form are the ones which create confusion, and they are important. If you really want to work on something, work on these forms of verbs. Alright? So that this becomes simpler for you. Okay. So this is what I had in store for you learners, and this is what I had to offer. Okay. I take your leave saying thank you. And I wish that you guys will work on this part. I will see you in the next session soon with something, not something new, but with tenses, okay? And we will work on these tenses and get our confusions cleared. Thank you so much.